Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I was being asked some questions. Oh, thank you for the support of the videos. My introduction to the Colombo crime family and part 1, part 2, and part 3. Thank you. It got good support. I really appreciate that, folks. Come chill out for 10 minutes, get something to drink. I prefer coffee. I need to quit. These guys are asking me, okay, now Mike Franzese, there were text messages somehow that got exposed, but you know, you got to take a lot of stuff with a grain of salt. Way back when, I didn't know of Mike having a mistress or whatever, what he was doing. It was very limited interaction as far as we went, you know, almost zero. But, you know, you see somebody had these text messages, and I don't know how they came about or how they were produced, but it was showing dialogue of Mike Franzese and some lady or something. And I mean, it's even tough to get up here and talk about something like that, the guy's personal business. But when you're on YouTube, you put yourself out there, and I guess he's fair game for that. But when I was running around a certain crew, these guys had mistresses. You know, some of them, I mean, not all of them were married, but the single guys had 2 or 3 girlfriends, and maybe half of the married guys had a mistress. And you know, sometimes it was smooth sailing for them, but then I was around a couple times where you know, the wife was coming around and pissed off. And Sammy the Bull Gravano, I don't know. I just think he was a whore master all the way through anyways. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But he talks a lot of shit over there. But I'd gamble. If I had to gamble, he's 1 to 9 whore master. All right. Mike Franzese was sheltered, secluded, never visible, smart. But he's doing the spiritual Christian thing on his channel. Now listen, boys and girls, you know, all that bullshit. But God bless him, let him do his thing. But I'd have to think, who cares either way? But people were asking me a couple of things because they said there were some text messages on the channel. Because a lot of people come up there saying like, well, what do you think? So I said, well, I'll do a 10-minute video and, you know, just give my share my thoughts with you folks. You good people. My channel's over 300. We're getting up there. I appreciate your support. I'm going to do another series on another mafia story, and that went real good. I appreciate your support, folks. And but these guys, 20s and 30s, they like to gamble. They got money. Some of them are doing drugs, and yeah, they're whoring around. And as far as the bosses were concerned, like the boss of the one crew, there was a occasion, there was an incident where a girlfriend, the mistress, and a wife were in a war, and they came at different times. They came to the club causing trouble, and this guy, this whore master, you know, the boss was telling him, hey man, you can't have that kind of stuff going on, because you start sharing information with a mistress or something, then the FBI gets the mistress, and then maybe this clown, this cheater, is telling her information about things. and it's just no good. You don't need that. You want a secret, closed organization, not fly-by-night whores. But it happened, and the bosses didn't appreciate it. They didn't appreciate it. Mike Franzese was very secretive, and I personally can't guess or assume, well, by his actions, he could have done this or that. But if it meant me to get off an island, okay, I'm immature. Okay, a couple of JoJo, you got to answer this question right, and you could get off the island. Do you think Mike Franzese cheated? Yes. All right, you're off the island. All right, but who knows? Forgive me, God and Mike, if I'm wrong, because that's not fair. But it was running around, and a guy, a crew member, I had a halfway good relationship with. He was pressing me because I knew I could talk and communicate, and I was good with psychology, and a lot of times I would talk or whatever. And the one guy was asking me, why am I a cheater? He was tripping out because it was causing problems. And I think he was going to get in some deep trouble with the captain or the boss. And I was in the car driving with him, and I was like, well, I don't really want to get into the psychological stuff on that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you're going to tell me why I'm a cheat, And I said, are you going to get mad if I tell you, well, you're probably insecure, you got low self-esteem, and all these other psychological theories that may or may not be true, but that's what I'm going to tell them. And I did. And then he was hollering, I'm not, because they want to be macho, but then he calmed down. And, so, there's mistresses, and then it's like, you can peel back the layers and say, well, why are they cheating? Well, there's cheating for many different reasons, but you got to be careful if you're part of a mafia family and you got these floozies out there. And it's happened in the past where the FBI has got to these girlfriends and mistresses and whores and took down some gangsters. And the boss Sam used to tell me when I was giving these guys rides home after card games, where'd you drop them off, JoJo? Either at his house with his wife, or at some girlfriend's house. Oh, excuse me, it's coffee. So yeah, the boss used to add, he'd say, don't lie. Where, and I did lie, and because he was at some whore's house, and he wasn't. I don't want to cause no trouble, but I told him a couple of days later, hey, Sam asked me about that, and he lied. My hand is out now. Grease my hand now. That'll cost you $100. I wasn't aggressive, or anything like that, but I always got my hand out. That'll cost you $100. I lied to Sam. You were out whoring. You weren't home with your wife. That'll be $100. Cha-ching. But and a couple times I got approached by wives, and they were saying, "Oh, was Jim with you on Friday at the racetrack, and then you went to the casino and everything?" So they used me as a alibi, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we were there." It's like, geez, at least give me a heads up that I'm your alibi. And then I'd see him and go, that'll cost you $200 this time. But it was real crazy. And these young guys, they're young, and they get a hold of some good money, and a lot of them like to party. They're going to strip joints, and they're whore masters. And I'll tell you, These wives were beautiful, Sophia Loren, beautiful wives and loving, and the mother of their children. And they're whoring around. And so, yeah, that the Mistresses took a lot of people down because if, as far as the FBI was concerned, that was an easy target. You know, they bring this whore in and they intimidate her and interrogate her and they make her all crazy. And then maybe this gangster had told her some incriminating things and the FBI's lying to her, telling her she could go to prison, and then she's spilling the beans. And then that's why these bosses don't like it happening. Every other day, Sam was asking me questions about. I says, "Well, I didn't see him at the racetrack or whatever." No, because he'd be like, "Who was he with? Who was he with? Did she have blonde hair? Did she have dark hair? Did she have red hair?" He's always wanted that information, and he'd say, "Don't you dare lie to me! Don't you dare lie, because you don't need those loose ends." He was an old timer, rose up, and he saw throughout the decades how that kind of stuff took people down big time. And there's mistresses all over the place. I mean, the single guys had 3 girlfriends, 4 girlfriends, and they were single, but they were cheating on the girlfriends. And then the married ones were cheating. And I knew 2 or 3 that were doing that. And then they'd come. But the wives knew. The wives knew. These Italian women weren't just pushovers. They weren't pushovers. I mean, they knew what was going on. So, and the text messages or something. Somebody produced text messages about mistresses of Mike Franzese from years and years ago, and like a current one and everything else. And that's what happens on YouTube, social media. And you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, that's between him and his wife. Who cares about that soap opera bullshit? Who cares? If he's a cheater, he's a cheater. What am I going to? Ooh. All the Joe YouTube mob viewers, like, I do that. Do they really care to know whether, like, and honestly, in fair play, like, do you guys really care about the mistresses of the mafia to like this video? I'll just put it out there, give you guys something to think about. If not, that's all I can do. I mean, I appreciate your support just the same. I like communing with you guys, and I want to get in a 10, 15-minute video. We're over 300 subscribers. Hit the like button, share, comment. Go to the About part of my channel. Get the book, that great book I wrote, They Dead Miss. There's a link in the About part of my channel. And settle down and get a good read from that. It's a good. I did a pretty good job on that book. So all me, no help. That's all me. I'm good enough. Creation and writing conceptual shit. So that's that. Get your Christmas shopping in there. Get your cards out there. And listen, sometimes it could be a depressing time. The holidays, we lost loved ones. They're not here. But don't get too caught up in it. Don't start drinking and doing drugs and getting depressed that much. Be joyful and happy. That's what our lost loved ones would want us to do. Be happy with the life we have. So don't get too caught up in it. It's the holiday season. Yes, we missed our past loved ones, okay? Or if you got divorced or things like that and you're tripped out, Christmas might look a little different for you this year. But if it's different and you're sad, rise up. Tap into the divine power of creation. Be the royalty that we were intended to be. All right? It's a tough task, but you can get there, all right? So it's that time of year. And Go to the church, light a candle, make a blessing. Tap into this divine creation. All right. There's another realm out there. There's another realm of physics and quantum physics and spirituality and shifting dynamics. Okay. Sounds a little crazy, but we have one life to live. Tap into everything. Don't be robotic. Tap into your inner essence and spirit. Bring the universe to you. All right. My dear friends, I appreciate your support. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm going to keep pumping these out. I appreciate everything. And so the Mistresses, yeah, they ran wild. I didn't get involved in a lot of times. I was up there waiting for somebody in the parking lot, and the mistress would come and she'd start talking to me. And, I was younger. I was a little, I looked better than I did now. And, sometimes they would try to flirt, and it's just like, no. You're the mistress of this other guy over here that's a psychopath. And like, yeah, there's enough women out there in the world that I could try to entertain, but the mistress of a psychopathic gangster, and, you'd see them. And, I'd just say, stay away from the guy. He's married, oh, shut up, blah, 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 you're a whore, blah, 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 and that kind of shit. No good. Yeah. I mean, they were the typical, it's like, where'd you meet this one? At the strip joint, Rick? Where'd you meet this one? At the, how typical, you give the freaking Italian mobsters a bad reputation like that. But there was good family men, family orientated gangsters that were loyal and faithful and good husbands, good parents. They were good guys, proper guys that were also Christian. These guys were Christians, and a lot of them were more devout than you would expect. A lot of them. I mean, it sounds crazy that, you go to church and you're into Christianity, and then you leave church and then you participate in this other stuff. Well, lust, whore, and cheating, 7 deadly sins, and that's life. That's life. So, whatever you think about Mike Franzese, you could probably look up, somebody put the text on there, and I think people could make up texts. I mean, I just don't buy swampland. Anybody can fabricate things technically and stuff to say, oh, somebody got these, and if it's nobody's business what he does behind closed doors, it's between him and his wife. I mean, yeah, it's social media, but how gung-ho you want to be about what's the difference? But in my experience with these other guys, yeah, there was good family men, loyal, but there was a lot of whores and whore masters running around, and it was frowned upon in with the bosses and the captains. It was frowned upon, and some of the guys got dealt with harshly when they would not listen to the captain or a boss saying, you know what, it's over. You can't see that that whore anymore. It's over. But some of them got dealt with, in whatever fashion, I don't know. But it was taboo. It was taboo. You join that secret fraternity and you keep it as enclosed as possible. The last thing that fraternity needs is a mistress of one of the guys. That's a risk. And you put that mistress in jeopardy also. You put her because it happened in other places where the mistress got tore up out of paranoia and whatever, but it's not good for anybody. So get your Christmas shopping done. Get your cards out there. If you got a loved one, pick up the phone. Hey, hello, how you doing? I miss you, family, and everything. And share a good word. If somebody's feeling down, rise them up a little. If you're feeling down, don't feel embarrassed. Don't be a macho man. Hey, you know what, Rick? I feel a little depressed. I got divorced. I lost my mother last year. I'm struggling. You know, a good word goes a long way. Just to know that somebody cares. All right. So that's what we do here. We rise up the best we can. All right, folks. You have a great day. I'll probably chime in again tomorrow. And subscribe, share, like, comment. Go to the link, the about. And you want a good read? They Dead Miss. The link is to Amazon Books. Great read. So thank you, folks. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. We're the royalty of the creation. Don't give up. The world is a vampire. It wants that blood. No, we're going to fight. We're going to rise our essence up. Okay? So that's it. I appreciate your support. Stay great. And don't take any wooden nickels. All right? God bless you all. Thank you.